So this is what we had last time. So if you guys remember, last time we had an issue with the P symptom list entity view. And the weird thing is, like, believe it or not, I didn't do anything and it works right now. So I think it might have just been like an issue on my computer's end or something. I actually didn't do anything, which is very weird. But my computer does have some issues, so that might be why. So I did change. The one thing that I did change was I believe I might have changed the function name. I don't remember exactly what we had last time, but I think I might have changed this one. Right. And so it's now called get p symptom list, which we will be using. And so remember last time we said that the physical file we won't be actually editing because good practice is we don't want to override any existing working code. So I just created a duplicate for that and called physical test, and we went over that last time. And so the first thing that we want to do is actually bring in some core data to the file. Specifically, we want to replace these lines of code where it has hard-coded values. We don't want it to be hard-coded because last time we were working on this thing called mocked data where we give it a standard set of values, which I have populated already. Last time we only had the first two, and this time I have 9 of them. So these are the pre-populated symptoms that we want them to see. And so we want the physical file to be able to have that. And so what the lines of code would look like is, so we would have this thing called a fetch request, and basically it's just fetching the data um, models, the symptom list, and oops, okay, I'm just gonna enter it. And then we'll have the function that I renamed from the psymptom list entity, and then I'll just call it psymptoms list for short. This could be anything that you want it to be named as, and then fetched, I keep spelling wrong, fetched results, yes, and then symptom list entity. This basically calls the entity the data model that we have.
Okay, cool. Okay, so some of the things we were worked on in settings. So we just added a few things. One of the things that I thought was kind of cool, we added this. We actually added a slider. So if I press try again, and this is going to like adjust the font size for all of the um, like all of for right now it's just the settings because we're only using a local variable, but hopefully like when we get core data to work with this variable, we'll be able to adjust the font size for like all the different um, application files. But for right now, like if you drag it like to 20 and then to um, 14, like all of that, and then standard size is 16. Um, you can adjust the font size, and so how did we do that? So if you go down to font size, inside of the H stack, we obviously have the text, but after that we also have a spacer, so it puts a little bit space in between, and then I guess Swift has this nifty little thing called slider, and so you can basically adjust like numeric value. In this case, we have font size at the top and declare as a double value. And this is like the range it can go. So it can go from 8 to 20. And then this is like the steps it goes by. And in this case, it's just steps by one. And yeah, and then just the frame so it looks nice. Um, I guess some other things we worked on. What I tried to get core data working with this specific file, but unfortunately, it's not completely ready yet. So um, some of the other things we worked on were like reminders. Um, so I guess it's not updated, but in the reminders or the help file, What we have is we also have like a link to visit our website. Um, I think link only works in like more recent Swift uh, like Swift code.
Yeah,
For some
sometimes
reason,
it's not compatible with certain versions of Swift, so it's
yeah,
just it actually does work on certain versions. So we will also include.
yeah. So that would be nice. I tried it and then I realized that I don't think I have a recent enough like Xcode just because I tried downloading like the most recent one, but unfortunately it didn't. My computer's very slow, so it didn't download it. But I guess once we get this working, we'll be able to link this button to our website, and then I also include a call 911 button just in case, like if people needed help and they're somehow in our app. Um, yeah, and then it's just like a simple button system. Um, but do you guys have like any suggestions on what we can improve like for the settings or really like any any file?
I had one question about the 911 button. When you click it, does it call it like right away? Because I know like sometimes for me, like I just hit like the emergency thingy on my phone sometimes, like because you don't want someone to accidentally call
Oh,
911.
that's very true. Yeah, I guess we could think about that. So maybe we'll bring it to the screen, make bring it to the screen, and then just like they can dial it if they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think another thing that could we could do as a workaround is have like an alert show up like pop up. Do you want to call just as a confirmation?
Very nice.
So that could always work.
Yeah, for sure. Um, okay. Um, and then I'm not sure that much else has changed. So did you want to try again, Ellie? Like try
Yeah.
screen sharing again?
There's actually one thing that I wanted you to show them. I think in the about view specifically, you had a certain paragraph. So we will be talking about how we're
Okay.
dedicating or attributing this dementia app development to the Neuroscience Club because of all of you guys and the support that you guys gave us. So this is what we'll have. And let me try screen sharing again. So there's an extra parentheses in the middle that I don't know how it got there. So that's why it's all finished now. So there's nothing wrong with that now. And then the other thing we needed to include though was this one. So I'm just going to copy and paste this because it's the same format except we'll be using this thing called a manage object context instead. And I'm just going to name the variable the same thing. And this basically like it kind of is in the term itself. It just manages our core data and the variables that we create. Yeah. So that is what we have, and I will be changing this thing to have this so that it can be um, toggled between true or false. And there might be some errors that come up, but that's because we'll be replacing it. So specifically, there are things that I changed. So I took out the button as seen here. I added documentation so that you guys can see it. I took out the button that we had and then changed a few things. So now it's an on tap gesture, so that you can actually tap the thing itself and then have the buttons still be toggled. Right. And right now there's this error and that will be fixed soon. And again, this thing I have commented out, but this thing after we incorporate core data into this, we will be able to delete specific cells of the symptoms. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go through the for loop and I will be calling the array that we just set up there. And so, well, it's not really an array, but this one is just making a general variable for this objects of this type. And so I'm just calling that variable right now. And then instead of I'm just going to use psymptom to make it more clear as to what we're actually calling. And here, right now, we have the text display what is in our psymptoms array of all the different texts. But instead of doing that, we don't want to hard code it, so we will have it just be psymptom.pname. You've given that this one is a variable of this. It's like it's a specific instance of this one, and this one goes back to the data model that we have, and so it reaches out for all the things that we have as a standard list of symptoms. So that's what we will have. And then again, instead of it being the array of check marks, we will have it be the p state variable, whether or not it's true or false. And I think that's it. So for this. So, and then down below, what I added was a submit button. So what we do with the submit button, specifically, we will go through the list, the P symptoms list, and then go through it. So for every single check mark that we have checked true, so this line says if it is true, then we will go through the process of actually saving the core data symptoms. And here we actually have the shared.save context. And then after we save it, we don't want the check marks to stay checked, so we reset the boxes. That's what we have. And that actually brings me to my next thing. You guys will see that I have a core data manager here. That's because I added a file right here. And this can be found on GitHub when we push it, so that you guys can all have the same version as well. But basically, there are a few things here, like this function is to delete all the objects. So it's just basically, as Jacob has loaded here, there's the save context function and the delete all objects function. So I was going to show you guys, hopefully it'll work when I share my screen again. But I was going to show you guys the exact functions that actually map to those groups of code. And then Jacob, if you go to the reports view, yeah, so this is something else that we added that we didn't have before. And again, it will be on GitHub. The specific lines of code that I want to show you guys is line 36 through line 40. And here we'll just be displaying the symptoms that we actually submitted. And then, so Jacob, you get a content view now. Sorry. So if you go to content view, we actually have 3 tabs to show the home view, the reports view, and the settings view. We originally only had home view and settings view, so we added a new reports view so that we can actually display the symptoms that we submitted. And then there are a few other things that you guys see, files that you see on Jacob's screen, and those are all files that we have been working on the side to make it the same across physical symptom and mental symptoms. And so, or physical, mental, and social. I think I said symptom. Physical, mental, and social symptoms. And so those things, again, you'll be able to see on GitHub when we actually do it. And if you go, Jacob, sorry, if you go to the psymptom view file in core data folder, yes, that one, this one. Okay, so this is the other thing. So in order to show it in the reports view, you actually have to, on the side you see migrate to do today. This is just like a placeholder. This is on Canvas, shown only on the Canvas. It's not going to be shown on the simulator because it's lines 25 to 29. We actually see that it's just a preview. And then, so if you were to look at lines 19 and 20, you'll see that we display the specific name of the symptom and the time that the symptom was created. And so this is how we'll see it in the reports view. Yeah. And all of this, again, can be found on GitHub. So if you guys have any questions, just ask us through email, or do you guys have any questions now that you want to ask specifically? Because we did go over this a little faster. You guys can see it. Okay, good. So I was going to show you guys the things that mapped to. So it was in Core Data Manager, we have the different delete all objects function and the save context functions. And that's actually seen in the physical test view where we can delete it right here on delete. So that's the function that we'll actually go to. So we get to delete the cells. And so I'm going to be running the simulator for you guys to see it. Let me know if it pops up. Yes, okay, good. So in physical view, we'll see that when you get the code that we have on GitHub onto your own device. So you can go and press these things, and then you'll be able to submit it. And then when you go to reports view and go down here, it pops up. So this is the exact time and date that we did it. It even lists the seconds. Um, and so that's something that we'll be able to do along with next time we do it, if we just do like difficulty washing hands and submit it, you'll be able to see that as well. And again, you can close this and open it up again. So Jacob and I will be polishing this, the look of this behind afterwards, after we're done this. And the settings we Jacob did go over, and we will have that on GitHub as well. And the same thing we'll be doing for mental and social symptoms. So again, if you guys have any like suggestions or ideas as to how we might like change the color scheme or the format of certain things, you guys feel free to email us. And the other thing I was going to show you guys is in this thing, we actually have our logo, the neuroscience logo, and this can be shown when we build the app on the simulator. So I'm going to be showing you guys that for a second. But the screen is right here. So if you go here, this is the reference that we have. And then this one is the one that you guys see right here. And so specifically, each of these, we can actually download it on our own phones. So if you were to look at my tile, I actually have the app on my own phone right now. And you can see everything loads as well. You can see all the physicals and the different things that pop up. And so everything that you see on my computer is on my phone. And so it's really cool. If you guys want to download it on your own computers, please do that. It's really interesting to be able to see something that you create show up on your own devices. Yeah. And specifically for that, if you guys wanted to know how you would go up to the simulator, go up to this thing where you can pick the device and you'll be able to choose your own phone. But you have to plug in your phone to your laptop first to be able to, in order to do that. Yeah. So are there any questions about any of that?